Next up, the men's 3,000-meter steeplechase. Roughly 7.5 laps, and they will finish on the other side of the track. The collegiate and meet records, both held by Henry Rono, and the collegiate leader coming into this event, Carlos Suarez-Gonzales of the University of Texas at El Paso. And the list of competitors for the 3,000-meter steeplechase: Billy Herman of Northern Arizona, Tom Chorny of Indiana, Micah Davis representing Oregon, Carlos Suarez-Gonzales of UTEP, Chuck Sloan of Oklahoma State, Tom Reese of Colorado, Ryan Taylor, junior from Michigan State, Travis Armstrong, Anthony Gamiglietti of Tennessee, Todd Davis, Portland, Adam Batliner of Colorado, and the defending champion, Matt Kerr, representing Arkansas. Carlos Suarez-Gonzales takes the lead early on. Matt Kerr riding comfortably in the 4th position.
And there's a lot of pressure on this kid. Even though he's a senior, he's a defending champion. Arkansas not enjoying the lead that they oftentimes have had in the past going into the later events in the NCAA championships. High jump still going on. They don't have a team in the 4x400 relay, so it's absolutely important that Matt Kerr finish in the top 3. Certainly they would like the cushion of him winning, and he's aware of that. Young man that has done a great job for the Razorbacks over the years, placing in cross country, of which they've already won the cross country title this year. Important over the last couple of years of his collegiate career. Canadian kid, so international experience is obviously something that he has, and he's content to follow the lead of the collegiate leader, the only sophomore in the field, Carlos Suarez-Gonzales, who actually didn't even win his conference meet, lost to his teammate Cesar Perez Segovia, but he did not have a good enough time to qualify for the NCAA championship, so he is actually leading this race, and Matt Kerr is content to just follow him.
Suarez-Gonzales, Matt Kerr.
And the only thing you worry about when the pace is this slow is that you get the athletes to bunch up in that middle section. If you've got guys jockeying for position and they move into comfort zones before they go over the hurdles and the water jump, and if somebody's got the same comfort zone and has the same idea at the same time, that's when you see disasters happen. I remember at the 1983 World Championships, Henry Marsh, who is still the American record holder and was a great runner at BYU, was leading coming off that last water jump and had just one final hurdle to negotiate, and he just slammed into it with his trail leg. And believe me, those things don't go down like the regular hurdles do. Those are serious pieces of construction. And he unfortunately not only lost that race, but failed to place in it, and was actually pretty injured. Went on later that summer to set the American record that still holds. And this is a pedestrian pace, which Matt Kerr is only too happy to follow at this point.
And Dwight, your mention of Henry Marsh evokes the thought of Henry Rono, and I know you remember him well.
Well, I'll tell you, Henry Rono's collegiate time of 8:05 and change is not likely to be broken anytime soon, if maybe ever. Back in 1978, he set 4 world records during that season. He holds the meet record of 8:12:39 and the stadium record here in Boise in a race he ran in 1977. He is just legendary in the collegiate ranks. He had the record at the 3,000-meter steeplechase, the 5,000, and the 10,000 that particular year. An incredible runner, of course, from Kenya, and John Chaplin at Washington State had such a great stable of Kenyan runners, and it continues today as we've seen Bernard Lagat win the 5,000 meters here at the NCAA championships. But he really was a major player in that whole Kenyan dominance of the middle distances and distances. As, of course, we've got one person in this race that's keeping the crowd in it. Crowd very, very, very good. Travis Armstrong of Boise State, the senior, now moving into contention into 3rd place there, just behind Matt Kerr. And it's a very good crowd here at Boise. 5 years ago when the NCAA meet was here, they turned out in great numbers as well for track and field. And legendary coach here, Ed Jacoby, who they've named the track after, his son was a contender for the Olympic team in my event in the high jump. He won the NCAA championships in that event for Boise State. As we see the sophomore just content to continue to lead this thing along, and Matt Kerr is only too happy to not have to do any of this work. He knows how important his points are here in this race, and at least the pace is picking up a little bit from what it was the first 3 or 4 laps. They're stringing themselves out enough where there isn't the danger of the athletes running into each other or tripping over the barriers because one gets in front of the other.
Nearing the midway point, the men's 3,000-meter steeplechase, Carlos Suarez-Gonzales, sophomore from the University of Texas at El Paso, has led from the outset. Matt Kerr, the defending champion from Arkansas, resting comfortably in second. Travis Armstrong, Boise State, wearing bib number 45 in third.
You know, these Razorbacks always find a way to get it done. They will hurt you in just about any event in any given year. Their strengths obviously are in the middle distances and distances. It's Seneca Lasser, 2-time defending champion in the 1,500 meters. They've got guys that'll score in the 5 and the 10. Matt Kerr, the defending champion here in the 3,000 steeplechase, but they'll also hurt you with a long jumper, triple jumper, and a Melvin Lister. The history in that event is storied, with Mike Connolly winning 9 national championships in the long jump, triple jump. Eric Walder winning 10 national championships in the long and triple jump. Robert Howard just a few years ago winning both of those events. Then they have a high jumper that's clearly top 5 material in the event, and that's going to be very important today. They just didn't have a sprinter or hurdler that was able to place this year, so they hurt you so many different ways. And just about the time if you're a Stanford or an SMU or an Auburn, you think you might have a shot at toppling them, they've got a guy to come back and place high in an event late in the meet. And Matt Kerr, knowing what his job is here, knowing how important the tradition of the Razorbacks is, he's been there for 4 years. He's a 3-time All-American. He knows exactly what he must do: keep himself out of trouble, run within himself. 2,800 feet of altitude here at Boise State. Nobody in this field he is aware of is ready to take this thing out, even though with UTEP, with Carlos Suarez-Gonzales, he does, of course, at UTEP train at altitude. So he's the guy he knows he's got to stay close to. But this kid has got a great race in him. He's fit enough because he trains and lives at altitude. He certainly needs to know that I'm going to get no worse than second here, and I'm bound and determined to win this thing. As we now see Colorado move into the picture, they've got 2 seniors in this race. Tom Reese, who has now moved himself into 3rd place, and Adam Batliner from Colorado as well in this race, as the front pack starts to bunch up again a little bit.
It is still Carlos Suarez-Gonzales in the lead. It is still Matt Kerr running in second.
And now Kerr decides, okay, I feel like I'm in good enough shape. I've got enough left here. He set a nice pace, but it's not too fast. But I don't want anybody in here who is really fit to get in a position where they can out-kick me. I think I've got this guy measured. I've made him do all the work. There are winds that are swirling here in the stadium, so he's had to fight that much of the way. And remember, the finish is on the backstretch. It's very strange the way they've got it set up here for track and field. It's the only event that finishes on the home stretch side of the stadium. And Matt Kerr has really started to pick it up, and he's taking everybody else out of the race but Carlos Suarez-Gonzales. And we're coming up with just 1 to go. Kerr looks totally within himself. Suarez-Gonzales really trying to stay up there, but you can tell he's starting to hurt a little bit. His form is starting to break down. Look at Matt Kerr, very much within himself. It's a tall athlete, 6'2", 140 pounds, but he looks much fresher than does the sophomore from UTEP.
Nearing the 8-minute mark, Matt Kerr from Arkansas, defending his title in this event.
And so important, the 10 points that will come along with the victory if he's able to hang on here, as the 2 Colorado athletes moving into positions 3 and 4 very subtly, Tom Reese and Adam Batliner. But Kerr seems to have it. Anything short of a disaster over the water jump or the final hurdle, and Matt Kerr is going to defend successfully, but more importantly, give those 10 points to Arkansas. They give them a little bit of a cushion. Stanford with nobody in the 4x400, no one in this race. And it's up to their high jumper, Kenny Evans, to finish high enough. And Matt Kerr well within himself, not really even having to launch into a sprint.
Matt Kerr of Arkansas successfully defends the men's 3,000-meter steeplechase championship. The official results of the men's 3,000-meter steeplechase: Matt Kerr of Arkansas, the victor. Carlos Suarez-Gonzales of the University of Texas El Paso, second. And Adam Batliner of Colorado finishes third.